meaningful relationship with your prospect. Another name for it, another fancy name for that is your lead nurturing. So we're going to talk about what is lead nurturing and why it's important to the success of your marketing efforts. And that applies to any size of business. It doesn't matter what size it is. Lead nurturing is important. You could have hundreds of leads or you can have 10. Every single lead is a potential to become your customer, and you can make a difference in their lives with what you offer. We're going to talk about what are the fundamentals of lead nurturing strategy. Then I'm going to go through the 5 steps to creating a lead nurturing campaign. The step is it's very specific to do with what I take my clients through. You can use exactly the same thing. That's majority of business I've noticed, it applies to it. All right, a little bit about me. Obviously, Howie knows a little bit about me. So who I am and what you should listen to me. I've built and sold my own 2 service businesses. I currently have a digital agency, which I specialize on Facebook and Instagram advertising. I do LinkedIn advertising as well, but not as much. Obviously, LinkedIn is a bit expensive depending on how much is the lifetime value of your client. So I'm a digital solution advisor at Business Station, and my background, I'm mobilized Fiona Stanley Hospital in Perth and Eastern Goldfield in Kalgoorlie. I love Kalgoorlie. I've got 20 years experience of entrepreneurship, business, sales and marketing, leadership and project management. And I started when I was 1. I am a coffee lover. I love coffee. Friends call me addicted to the coffee, but I actually don't have any problem to have eye twitches every now and then. And some people might even call me hilarious. For example, my mum, and I think it will count. Terry will understand it when she joins us. All right, let's begin. The first thing we're going to talk about, what is lead nurturing and why is it important to the success of your marketing effort? So as a small business owner, you might be asking yourself, how do I connect with my prospect and turn them into the customers in the most helpful way? This is the biggest challenge. When you're starting a business, the biggest challenge is connecting with that business and leading them into becoming a paying customers. And the answer to that is what we call lead nurturing. So lead nurturing is the process of building a relationship with your prospects with the goal of earning their business when they're ready. I've actually underlined that, when they're ready, because when they're not ready, we're going to come down to segmentation. When it comes to lead nurturing, they have to be ready. Obviously, the timing is important. So we want to be part of that journey from when they think about doing something, buying a product or whatever that is, to when they're ready to buy. You as a small business owner, or we want to be there when they're ready to take their next step. They don't necessarily have to be, when I talk about buying, could be ringing and booking in your restaurant, in cafes, whatever that is. It doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily mean handing out the credit card. Eventually they're going to hand out their credit card. So if they have cash, which I don't even know what the cash looks like these days. So in practice, lead nurturing is is a marketing effort that focused on engaging with your leads and customers in a way that encourages them to progress towards a specific action that we want to take. We nurture them to take that action step by step. It doesn't necessarily mean we go straight for the queue and straight they have to pay and book or make a commitment, but it's the nurturing way of taking them towards a specific action we want to take. So what exactly is lead nurturing? Lead nurturing is a timely, this is what happens. Let's go back. Too many buttons I press. Okay, so lead nurturing is a timely, efficient, and targeted approach to connecting with your contacts or your leads. So, and by taking this kind of approach, you can deliver helpful content with the right context. So let's look at each of them separately. Timely. One problem excuse me, one problem that business owners, and honestly though, not just business owners, us marketers face, is finding a right time to connect with leads. So when they're most interested. And one problem that your leads face is being contacted at the wrong time. And all of us, at some point, we have been a customer. So at some point we have been a customer. So we know when wrong time we get approached by business owners, we sort of get pissed off, honestly. So timing is very important. And this can be delivered through, obviously, marketing automation. Because you must, as a business owner, you must, if you haven't used the marketing automation or have never heard of it, you must be thinking, but how will I know the timing? But we all know is at some point there are some repetitive tasks, such as, I don't know, sending emails, social media posts, other website action that you and your team, if you have a team, has to do. So when I talk about marketing automation, I'm talking about the software that exists with the goal of automating your marketing actions. That's when the timing becomes easier to manage, when we use and we utilize these automation technologies. So using the marketing automation softwares, you can trigger events to happen after your contacts have taken certain actions, such as downloading, something. One of the biggest thing, oh, hey, Michelle. One of the biggest thing that we experience is if customers buying something, we have learned and we expect that the email comes through straight away. It's such a simple thing. I purchased a ticket for the movies last night, and I was doing this. I knew I was going to do this webinar, so I've purchased the ticket on movies, and I didn't get the email straight away. And I panicked. I was like, they're taking my money, but I haven't got anything. So being timely is very, very important. I've got the tickets anyway, but it's so important. And when I was going through this lead nurturing this morning to go through it, I was thinking it's exactly the same. Even though I'm a marketer, even though that things can happen, even though I know it's a system and we're relying on softwares and something might happen, I still, as a consumer, thought, where is my email? So timely is very important. And that's where your automation software is handy. Efficiency is another one. So marketing, like we talked about, it doesn't necessarily not only helps you to be timely on what you're doing, it brings a second aspect of lead nurturing, which is efficiency. Efficiency is being on time. Have everything in front of your clients on time. Like, for example, I've got clients that they sell online courses. When we're doing online courses and we promise that whoever purchases these courses, whatever amount it is, even if it's $49.95 to the $10,000 or $15,000 workshops that we sell, they all have to be exactly the same. If we promise that we are going to get to this content, or you are going to get the video for this particular content on Monday morning at 7 o'clock, it has to happen at Monday morning at 7 o'clock. So efficiency is very important as well when it comes to nurturing the leads. So HubSpot is my favorite, and they are CRM and automation, they're really good. So one of the things that they found out, this is just, the numbers a bit scary when you think about it. So they found that odds of leads becoming qualified are 21 times more and greater when they contacted within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. Like you can imagine how time and efficiency is so important. So these types of speed, obviously, it's possible through the automation software, which is plenty out there for you to use. That's not the purpose of these webinars, but I want you to understand when it comes to the lead nurturing, what is important. So it's all about efficiency. The content and interaction the lead will experience through your lead nurturing campaign or plans will do this the automation software will do the heavy lifting to leave you and your team focus on creating helpful content, connecting leads through. It actually helps you connecting with your leads and through the sales faster, and reviewing. Obviously, you need to review the data to make sure that you're optimizing. So that, just imagine how important it is. Well, I've booked a ticket, and within 2 seconds when I didn't get it, I was like, where is my ticket? So this is how it is. So in other words, when we give these to automation software, what it leaves us to be more human, helpful, and holistic. So we're not struggling to get back to this customer, to that customer. Lead nurturing, it's all what the name says. It is nurturing. It's nurturing your leads. It's so, so important. I cannot express it long enough that how important it is for to be a human. So if you are not relying on the automation software, you're taking yourself away or your team away from your customers, and it's so important. Automation software alone, I'm just digressing, but automation software alone is not going to build that relationship. What you create for your customers when they need your help, you being there, and the automation software is just the tools to take some of the repetitive work away from you, but then it gives you time to spend and be a human and spend time with your audiences and with your clients. Okay, the last one, timely and efficiency, brings us to third aspect of your lead nurturing, and that's targeting your lead in a right way. So by using lead nurturing, you can tie a series of email to a specific activity or conversion event. So we target email, we target, even with advertising, with Facebook advertising, when we retarget based on a specific activity that our audience have done. So it's not just about timely, it's not about efficiency. You just want to make sure when you send the content or material as timely or as efficiently as possible, it has to be to the right audience. So in the other word, you can craft your email based on the actions that your lead or customer takes. This shows them that you're aware of their interest and providing them with what they might need next. So when connecting with your contacts, you want to be, again, as human as possible. Being human is what builds trust. Trust is what helps you become successful as a business. Because when we do that, when we target it, when we provide information that they actually ask for based on their activity, it shows that you're human. It shows that you care. So the successful lead nurturing helps you focus on providing value to your lead by offering them information that they need at the right time. It's so important for us to be there at the right time with the right content. Okay, so a good lead nurturing adapts the messaging to stay relevant and helps you win new customers faster. Trust me, it works perfectly when you have this when you think about it. When someone comes in, instead of saying, well, they didn't buy now, so they're not going to buy, I better go in and start going to my top of the funnel advertising. It doesn't. It takes time. So the good lead nurturing is adapting the messaging to stay relevant and helps you win new customers faster. It also helps you keep up to the conversation with your contact. So it helps you to connect with them in the right context, so the conversation actually resonates with your contact, and it helps you continue to connect even after they become your customers. The lead nurturing does not stop when we get the customers. I'm going to digress again. So one of the things that I love, the book that I love, and one of my marketing coaches, is Jay Abraham. Well, he's not my coach. I follow him online. His team, and there's a different understanding. They think I'm stalking him, but I don't. I think it's all a matter of opinion. But I'm just kidding, but he's so good. I love how he does. I love how he does his marketing. I believe I believe how he does. So one thing that I learned from him a long time ago, there is only 3 ways you can increase your business. There's 100 ways, there's 3 ways. So he says one of them is to bring new customers in, which is fine. That's your lead. The second one, to make him to buy more. And the third one, to make him to come back or refer you to other clients, to their friends. So the nurturing doesn't just stop just because they came into your funnel, and from the top of the funnel, from your awareness stages, they didn't buy. You can't say, oh no, that didn't work, I've got to go to the top of the funnel and do advertising again. First of all, it's very expensive if you do that. But when they come into your funnel, that's when your lead nurturing starts. So that's the good way of lead nurturing. And sales might take time, but it's faster, less effort, and they absolutely buy from you because you build a relationship. So you're providing, oh, my camera's all over. Oops. So you're providing this value to your customers, and they give you value in return, which means, well, value in return for our businesses is they come back and they help you grow your business. So this is where you see the success of your lead nurturing. It's the best of both worlds, growth for your leads and growth for you. So it's very, very important. It works absolutely perfectly when you have that concept and understand that we need to nurture people who don't buy from us straight away. So let's talk about what are the fundamentals of lead nurturing strategy. Your lead nurturing strategy will be the foundation you build successful lead nurturing campaigns upon. Knowing what you need to do before you map out any campaign will help you develop a clear path for you, or if you have a team, to create a campaign that adds value to your leads and customers. So when it comes to lead nurturing strategy, it doesn't just stop with one thing. It's not necessarily just email. For example, with the Facebook advertising, or that's where the retargeting comes in. So we sit down and have a plan. We have a flow of what happens when someone lands, for example, on one of the websites that talks about specific product. Then we know as the marketers or the business owner, we know that this person who lands in this website, they are interested in that product. So then we retarget them with information about the products or about whatever was on that page that they will spend their time on. So it's very important to have a plan to make sure that what we want to do, what's the value, and what we plan, how we're going to add value to our leads or our customers. So it takes around 6 to 8 touches to generate a viable sales lead. So they're not even customers yet. Every industry is different. It depends on the size of what you're selling. The bigger, like for example, 6 to 8 is on the average. HubSpot, obviously the study was done by HubSpot. HubSpot looks after more service-based businesses of different sizes. They do have a startup as well, but it takes 6 to 8 times. However, though, from my experience of advertising, if you're selling something that is $40 or $49 or even less than 100, it might take less. It might need 5 to 6, but 6 to 8 is average content for people. They need that touches to generate that viable leads. They either come to your LinkedIn page, they land on your website, they go to your Facebook. Even if you don't have a LinkedIn, it could be your TikTok these days, or it's a dirty word, that TikTok, or the Instagram, or that's how the touches are. So they see one content here, one content there. That's how then they determine and brings them, without knowing, that brings them into the funnel. So you are lead nurturing them to bring them into become a viable sales lead. So your marketing automation software is very, very important, and your conversation, which includes things like emails, live chat, Facebook, Messenger, and social, will work together to fuel your lead nurturing strategy. So this is so important. everything works together for this lead nurturing strategy. It doesn't necessarily mean one way. It always works if you have a strategy like your Facebook and your Messenger works really well together. I have people who ask me, but I don't like people to send me a message on Instagram. Unfortunately, us as a business owners cannot be as fussy as I don't like him to send me a message on Instagram. We need to be as open and understanding as possible that our customers come through to us from a different platform. Some people like Instagram more, even though they might check you out on Facebook, they might check you out on your website, LinkedIn, whatever your business is, if you are active on LinkedIn, and they might be easier for them to contact you through WhatsApp. They might be easier for them to contact you through Instagram. I know it's painful. I know it requires a lot of resources, but we need to be open and we need to understand that the lead nurturing and bringing people in through our, we need to consider everything. So if they want to come through WhatsApp, or if they want to send us a message through Instagram, they're more than welcome to do it, because we want their customers, because it's so expensive to get that contact in. The first point of contact is so important. So if they send you a message on Instagram, just say yes. It's so important. So before we start, we got to start with a goal. So remember, goals without a plan is just a wish. So this is why it's important when we're creating a big picture strategy, we need to make sure we have a goal. Different times throughout the day. I get to that, Michelle. The automation software have that, and bots, the robots. You can absolutely, there are different platforms that you can use bots to do the answering. What I recommend for you to do is we tend to know the hours. If you are, for example, in Australia and you're marketing to US, and their hours are different, you can absolutely have the bot to actually answer certain questions. The first contact is very important. So when they send you a message, that the bot getting back to them is so important. Instagram recently, you weren't able to do it. They didn't like it, but recently they allowed, since Facebook is actually expanding, they do allow bots to answer people's questions. One thing I have to say, when you're using bot, I 100% recommend for you to give it a name. And the first message should actually say, I am bot and I'm helping people. Yeah, you can use it now. There are platforms, there are platforms in between that you can integrate. I think it's only been this year, because they're changing since ISO 14 and everything else. They're trying to keep everyone in their platform, because if they leave their platform, they cannot track what is happening with, especially when it comes to advertising. So yeah, definitely. So bots are very handy, provided that the bot actually explains to the customer when they're having a conversation that I am a bot and I'm going to help you as much as I can. If I can, someone will get back to you. So it's very important. That first point of contact is very important. Okay, so there are 3 elements to the lead nurturing strategy. So we talked about goals. We need to make sure why we're doing this and why we're actually doing this. But there's actually 3 elements of lead nurturing strategy. There's a contact management, there's a segmentation, and the buyer's journey. So let's look at each of them separately. So as the name suggests, it's a platform that manages your contact. So the contact management is a strategy that focuses on using a software program to easily store and source a contact's information, including their name, contact history, emails, information, and so on, and so much more. So because contacts are part of your marketing and sales strategy, they're also equally important for your lead strategy. And in order for us to have a successful lead nurturing campaign, you need to understand who your contacts are. We need to know who they are. And in order for us to know who they are, we need to actually have a management platform that we can put our contacts in there. This will help us with the next element, which is the segmentation. So once you have your contact management sorted, And this contact management, you probably heard it, they call them CRM platforms. So that could be MailChimp, ActiveCampaign. There's so many out there that you can use. HubSpot is another one. So they are the one that you can store your contact and their information in there. When it comes to that, so when you have your contact management sorted, then it's time to segment them. And segmentation is exactly, again, what the name suggests, is to segmenting your prospect or client as where they are in the buying journey or your sales funnel. So lead nurturing is that happy marriage between the content and context. And segmentation is how you provide context. Again, so lead nurturing is the happy marriage. Remember, we talked about the time. It's the worst thing is to send something to the client in a wrong time or a wrong time in the buying journey. So it's a happy marriage between the content and the context, which is the segmentation, is how you provide the context. So segmentation is when you're segmenting them into based on where they are. The example I can give is, so what I had this, okay, so this morning I was talking to the photographer this photographer is engagement photographer and a wedding photographer. So when you're segmenting someone, she wants to get into doing after as well. So because they're already in their funnels. Remember, the third way of increasing business when we were discussing is to have them come back. They either come back to you, or in this case, a photographer, they either come back to you or they refer you to other person. However, though, if they are in the engagement, she does engagement, wedding, she's busy. I don't know how you can do engagement and wedding. And then we decided that we're going to add the after one as well. If they have, I don't know, anniversary pictures, if people do that, I have no idea. But we talked about the baby photos. If they are going to have a baby, that's another part of the funnel that she can take him through. So when they're engaged, then you can target them by creating content based on the wedding photography or whatever the wedding photography is. There's no point for us when they're engaged. Actually, you can do the baby, but the whole point is very different. So we say, so they thinking they engaged. So when they're married, there's no point of sending a content to them talking about engagement photography. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to segmentation. It's very important. It's the happy marriage between the content that you're providing and the context. So the last one is the buyer's journey. This is important, knowing where they are in their buyer's journey. Same thing. If they are engaged and you think, okay, now they're engaged and it takes, I don't know, how long does it take for people to get married? Let's say at least a year. I think she was saying about 18 months on average, depending on COVID these days, actually. So then the content will be different. So then you have to build them up to the wedding photography. You can't leave it on the 16 month. You got to start straight away provide content straight away when they get engaged. So then that's where you build yourself up. So you become the best point of contact. They might not come to you, but that's another segment that we go in. There's a segment that are already engaged and they come to her funnel. If they're engaged, then the next one, she's done the engaging, even then she has to do lead nurturing. She can't just say, just because I did photography for the engagement, they're going to come back to me. They're not. They have no reason. Like, they don't have any commitment to us to come back to us. So the buyer journey, the third element, is very important, and you've got to understand the three of them together in order to make sure that the lead nurturing is going to work. So these are the 5 steps of creating, I hope I'm doing okay with the time. So 5 steps of creating lead nurturing campaign. Oh, look at that. It's not even a campaign. Okay, I've got to change that. So the 5 step: setting goals, selecting your customer avatar, creating content, identifying timeline, measuring and improving. And we go step by step. First one, setting goals. So you got to determine what you want to accomplish in the first step, because without the goal, how will you know if you're successful or not? So for example, with our photographer, let's say we want to educate, we want to get more wedding photography coming up. So that's what we want to do. So then what we do is, in our segment of people who are in our database, okay, I went too fast. So with the questions that I suggest for you to ask yourself is, what actions are my contacts taking that I need to target? So let's say they just had their engagement, right? So that's the question to ask when it comes to goal. But selecting your customer avatar. So we are going to target people who we want to get the weddings photo coming up. So we decided the content is about introducing what we do when it comes to wedding photography. The first one was setting goals. So we're going to increase the wedding photography. I don't remember what she called it. This next one, we decided what we're going to do. The next one is selecting your customer avatar. This is what's important. So we, based on our segmentation, we select that avatar who either have used us used her for their engagement photography, and people who are engaged, but they haven't necessarily used her. However, they are interested in what she offers. So they have put their hand up and asked for some information. They have opted in, they have checked out her website, and they put their email address in there to subscribe to what she provides. So there's two people, there's two avatars. So you might be thinking, so what's an avatar? So customer avatar is a semi-fictional presentation of your ideal customers based on real data. Real data meaning if you already have a customer, in her case, she already has customers, or some selected educated speculation about customer demographic, behavior patterns, motivation, and goals. So their goals, if you're thinking about it, when you go to the cold audiences, for example, when they are engaged. So that's what you look for. That is the avatar for this particular goal we want to do. So now that we selected, we're going to increase the wedding photography. We selected our avatar. We said, okay, so the people who actually use my services or use their services for their engagement photography, and the people who opt in, or people, cold audiences who have been engaged, for example, in last month or last 6 months, I want to target those people as well. So then you create a content based on you create a content based on the goals and based on that avatar. So the idea behind lead nurturing is to nurture leads through the funnel first, to make them more educated and more ready to buy. Instead of pitching your product or services as the greatest things ever, you should first offer the value. And that's where the content comes in. Offer the value. So she needs to offer the value. What is his unique selling proposition? What does she do differently? So that's where the content comes in. We want to educate her customer avatar, the people who, even though in my experience, even though they bought from her that through their engagement photography, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go ahead and do it. So she needs to still be staying top of mind with them. So we created the content. Now we need to identify the timeline. So this is very important. So one of the most beneficial aspect of lead nurturing, it's timeliness. So one thing I've noticed when it comes to lead nurturing campaign, when it comes to retargeting, people who opt into the email address, it's so easy because they opt in. There is a question that she asked what they might be interested. We added that question probably about 6 months ago when I worked with her the first time. We add that question so it helps us with their segmentation. So sometimes identifying the timeline is very important. So if they select that I want for wedding, then we identify it as to we do it, because through her experience, she realized when they fill out the form and they send it, it means that they're ready. They could be ready to do it. Even for that, we segment them. we segment based on the time when they opt in and they selected, but this has only been 6 months, but we selected timing as to when they opted in and what they selected. So if they are in 6 months time, they opted in about 3 or 4 months time, then the whole content is different because we know it's getting closer. I think she adds, I can't remember if she asked if they have a date or not. You'd be surprised that people do give information. Don't panic if they don't. They don't have to, but in her case, we tested it and we don't have a problem. We don't ask for, you don't have to, you're not asking for bank account details. So you can ask this information because then it helps you to create to identify the right timeline. So then the next one is you got to measure and improve. One of the things with measurement and improvement is if they don't, for example, if you do a Facebook ad, if nothing happens, or if they land, they come back to that particular page and they don't take the next step, means they're not ready, or we need to provide different content. So measuring it is very important. So these are the five steps. So one of the things I get asked a lot, because I always tell people is not necessarily lead nurturing is not just for when they're lead. It happens when they're new customers. It happens when they're old customers. So the question I get asked a lot is, so what's the right time? When do you know to nurture leads, or when do you know where? How do you know to nurture leads, or how do you know to nurture your clients? So when it comes to nurturing leads, it starts with after the first conversation. That's where the lead nurturing starts. After they downloaded your content, after they subscribe to your blog, after they requested a trial or demo, or the re-engagement. So that's where the lead nurturing starts. It doesn't necessarily, the first point of contact, even if they send you a message on Instagram or even they send you a message on WhatsApp, they're a lead. So the nurturing has to start. Obviously, you have different strategy and different plan. And I think we talked about this. Instead of just going and saying how your products and services are the best in the world, we just provide the content, even asking questions, how we can help them to decide on something. Asking open-ended question, it definitely helps. But nurturing your leads starts from the first signal or first point of contact. So let's say what happens nurturing your new customers. So during onboarding, that's where the nurturing comes in. What am I trying to do? The goals goes back in there. What am I trying to do? What's my goal? They're a new client. And through my experience, I know the new clients are very not sure. In my case, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram advertising, if it's for the first time, so everyone is different. So if it's for the first time they're using agency or someone else to do an ads, and they're not sure how much and they don't know what's going on, it's a bit scary, there's a different way of nurturing these clients. Products and services education. This is again very important. Even though they buy your product, even though they buy your services, there is a nurturing component to that. So new products, if you have a new products, that's another thing you can use for them. Support resources, pro services recommendation. So if you're creating something and there's another service that complements it, even if it's someone else, then recommendation absolutely helps, because they see you as an authority and they see you as being, what is that word? I forgot. They see you as an authority. There's something else I was going to say. As a trusted advisor. So it's very, very important. Then it comes to then it's nurturing your existing customers. Why is it important for us to nurture as existing customers? Because we can ask for referral. That's just so important, because when they became when they were new, we looked after them. Even if they're existing, we even asked them a question as to how they're doing. So the reason we nurture them is because we can ask for referral. You must wonder, why would I even bother? Because you can ask for referral. Or the third way of earning money is for them to come back and buy again. Feedbacks, they're very good. You can use that for your advertising and again, your renewal. So it's very important to remember the lead nurturing and why is it important. All right, I think we're done. Wow. How am I going with time? Ooh. All right. Okay, I think I'm done all right. I don't know if if you are aware, or if you are currently in our 7-hour mentorship with Business Station, so we have a 7-hour mentorship for $44, which if you like my jokes, you can actually have the one-on-one with me as well if you're not already here. But that's all about it. This is for WA, Queensland and NT, and there is one in Victoria and there is one in New South Wales who do exactly the same thing. This is a government funded program, and you might as well, we need to tell every business owner that this is there. It will run out. We started in 1st of July and 1st of July this year, and is running out June next year. We want to make sure that we use it as much as we can. All right, I better stop talking. Any questions? Is everyone awake? Oh, you guys are sleeping. I didn't know I can make people sleep. Thank you. Yes, it is. It's just this is just a concept. It's not necessarily, where's terrible Terry? He was going to join us, Michelle, but he didn't. Jay, it is. But I want you to understand. So when you are in the business, when someone comes in and it doesn't buy, this is the biggest thing. We're leaving money on where we can actually nurture him. So when it comes to marketing, I want you to understand, if they don't come and they don't buy straight away, just remember, okay, so I need to lead them. I need to nurture him to become a paying customer. Some of them straight away they buy. Even with the straight away they buy though, it's not straight away. They actually, I call it social stalking. They find out who you are before they get to you. They've already decided. If they come in and you think, but they came through and I sold it to them, I can guarantee you they've already done their research. They've already gone to your website, checked everything out. When they get to you, they've already made the decision to use you or not. So Jay, are you in business? Do you have your own business, or are you a startup, or you're currently operating? Few different ones. Okay. Is that service or product? Okay. Both. All right. Okay. All right. So how are you going with, are you posting? So has COVID, main ones are services? Services both in overseas and Australia? All right. Okay. So what are you offering? What are your services? Oh, ocean related, surf related. Okay. Oh, wow. So has COVID affected you anyway? Where are you? Are you in WA? You're in Queensland. Okay. All right. I think we were sort of been lucky. Yes, it's killed us. Oh. Yeah, it's been hard. So hopefully it's going to get better. Hopefully better days ahead. So what is the service with ocean related? Yes, we're all hoping. Well, it's better than not hoping. But I think WA and Queensland we've been in a better state than, unfortunately, Victoria and New South Wales. So I think we've sort of been lucky. Not if you're on the board. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, and not even like in WA, we're not allowing anyone in. All right. If there is there any other questions? It's an awkward quietness. Should I start singing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Any questions? Thank you, Howie. Any question, please don't hesitate to ask. I know when it comes to lead nurturing, it is a bit too much. There's a lot thinking goes into it. But I just want you to remember that when someone doesn't buy, it doesn't necessarily mean they don't like you, they don't want you. It's possible that they're not ready, and timing is very important. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jay. Have a great weekend. How are you, Michelle? It was good to see you guys again. Well, sort of. Not a problem. Say hi to Terry. Bye.